Greetings. Good afternoon. So good to see all of you here on today. Welcome back to our amazing series, Pouring from a Full Cup, where we have real talk about clergy wellness. I'm Dr. Danie Bahuro, Executive Director of Sankofa CPE, and I'm so grateful that you have joined us on today. Hey, family, as we move through the holidays, this conversation is definitely needed because, first and foremost, we as clergy persons understand that ministry does not slow down in December. If anything, it intensifies. So today, we're talking about what it means to stay whole during the holidays, navigating stress and loneliness in ministry, and finding tools that keep us grounded. This series is our space to acknowledge the weight of ministry and to reclaim wellness as essential to the call. Each month, we're building towards our famous, phenomenal, wonderful 2026 Sankofa CPE Clergy and Chaplains Mental Wellness Conference happening April 21st to the 24th right here in Chicago. We want to invite you to visit our website, www.blackchaplainsrock.com. Thank you. So today I am so excited. I am so excited. I am so excited. I know I say this every month, but today I really mean it. We have the illustrious Reverend Dr. Ebony Only with us here on today. Dr. Ebony Only's ministry journey weaves together deep theological foundations with hands-on pastoral experience, reflecting on her commitment to both scholarly excellence and compassionate leadership. A trailblazer in her field, Dr. Only is the first African American woman ordained as clergy and to serve as executive pastor at the illustrious First Baptist Church of University Park in University Park, Illinois. She also serves as the Director for Community Engagement for Bishop Anderson House, where she founded the Committee on Social Equity and Racial Justice. Her current pastoral work extends to Trinity Christian College, where she serves as interim campus co-pastor. Dr. Only earned, earned, wasn't given, earned her Doctor of Ministry from the Samuel DeWitt Proctor School of Theology at Virginia Union University and a Master's of Ministry in Pastoral Leadership from Lee University School of Religion. She is currently pursuing advanced studies in marriage and family therapy, specializing in trauma-informed systemic therapy from National University. This will equip her to provide holistic trauma-informed pastoral care for individuals and families. Her leadership in bridging spiritual care and community needs has been recognized through numerous fellowships and awards, including being the inaugural Community Chaplain Fellow for Bishop Anderson House, the ABCMC James B. Ashbrook Award in Pastoral Care and Theology. She has been a part of this phenomenal Chicago Commons Fellowship Program, as well as Thrive International Fellowship. Through it all, I can attest, Dr. Only remains dedicated to breaking barriers, fostering inclusive communities, and providing compassionate guidance grounded in both theological wisdom and psychological therapeutic insights. Won't you welcome to our Pouring from a Full Cup series, the Reverend Dr. Ebony Only.
Dr. Booker, thank you. Thank you. I'm so glad to be here. Probably more excited than you. Certainly excited to be here with my mentor and my friend, Dr. Danie Bahura.
Thank you. Thank you. I pay her a lot of money to say great things about me. All right. So let's jump into it. Let's jump into it, family. I'm gonna ask Dr. Only a series of questions, and we also want to let you know if you have questions that you would like Dr. Only to engage. Feel free to drop those in the comments section of our Facebook Live. We also want to invite you to share this video, family. I'm telling you right now, Dr. Only is going to pour out so much wonderful wisdom and insight, and we want everybody to benefit. So share this video. And lastly, now's a good time to grab pen and paper because she's going to drop so many gold nuggets for us. So grab pen and paper so you can jot information down. Okay, so first and foremost, Dr. Only, let's get into it. When you hear this phrase, holidays and ministry, what pressures or patterns do you see leaders in particular carrying during this time of year?
Mm. Dr. Danie, the first thing that comes to mind is what I call the multiplied calendar. For most people, December is already full. We got family obligations and travel and end of the year deadlines. But as clergy and chaplains, we layer on top of that Advent services, Christmas Eve, sometimes multiple services, watch service, and then grief ministry, right? For those families who are experiencing their first holiday without their loved one. There's all the year-end administrative work that has to happen, and then the general expectations that your holiday as clergy will be joyful and whole because you're leading everybody else's sacred moments. What I see when I walk with leaders is this pattern of invisible labor. Dr. Teresa Fry Brown, the Bandy professor of preaching at Candler School of Theology, she talks about Black women in ministry having weary throats. And I think that extends to all clergy during this season. There's a weariness that doesn't get named because the assumption is we signed up for this, and so we should be energized by it. The other pattern that I notice is what I call public fullness and private emptiness. Public fullness and private emptiness. We preach in hope. We're leading people toward joy. And then we go home and there's nothing left. When we get to our places of love and leisure, when we get behind our closed doors, we give ourselves and our loved ones what's left, if there's anything left. Our own spiritual practices get neglected. Our own families get neglected. And so when I looked at a study in it was 2023 study, Rogers and Tinsley published this study in the Journal of Religion and Health. And they found that Black pastors reported significantly higher occupational stress. And here's the key finding. Even though our stress was significantly higher, we continued the practice of putting the congregation's needs and wellness before our own. And so that's not just on the holidays, but that intensifies, right, during this season. So the patterns I see are this calendar overwhelm, this invisible emotional labor that we put in, and then this public performance, right, masking our private depletion and the assumption that because it is a sacred season, the work should feel effortless and the work should be energizing when it in actuality may be draining us.
Thank you. Wow, there's so many golden nuggets you just said right there. I'm thinking about invisible labor, weary throats. Wow, those are powerful. Thank you. Thank you. How does stress tend to show up for clergy and chaplains in December? And when I think about this stress in particular, I'm thinking about physical, emotional, or spiritual stress. What does our stress look like in particular in December?
In December, well, let me be honest about this because I think clergy need to hear it from someone who understands. Compassion fatigue during December and during holidays often looks like emotional numbness that surprises us. We're sitting with grieving families. We're sitting with somebody who lost their mother in October and is facing their first Christmas without her. And we're saying all the right things, but we feel detached. We feel distant. And then we feel guilty about the distance because we do genuinely care. We know we care, but something in us has shut down. Charles Figley, who really pioneered the research on compassion fatigue, describes this as the cost of caring. Mm-hmm. And we pay that cost daily, but it compounds in December because grief intensifies during holiday seasons. Loneliness intensifies, family conflict intensifies. Every pastoral concern that we deal with year round becomes heightened. We're constantly exposed to the struggles of others. And then during these months, we show elevated risk for that, what I call secondary trauma, right? So we show elevated risk of vicarious trauma. We show elevated risk of compassion fatigue and emotional exhaustion compared to the general population. And that might show up as being irritable, right? Our, 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 our fuses are shorter with family members. We grow a little bit more impatient with the smaller requests. We start to avoid things. We don't return phone calls. We start dreading hospital visits. We do a lot of numbing and playing on our phones and being distracted by all the things and not focusing on the things where we should be focused. We get a little bit more cynical, right? We catch ourselves thinking, here we go again when somebody brings us a concern. And then there's the physical symptoms that we get, right? The body keeps score. We get the insomnia and the headaches and the getting sick right after Christmas when our body finally crashes and says, I just cannot do this anymore. And so the holidays amplify all of this because there's an added layer we're supposed to be celebrating too. So we're performing celebration while feeling depleted. We're performing, we're masking, we're showing up with the smile, and that gap between what we're projecting and what we're experiencing gets wider. That gap itself becomes exhausting.
Performing celebration while feeling defeated. Wow. Wow. Loneliness is real in this season. What makes it so common for faith leaders? And how can we begin to name it without shame?
Mm. This
And
Dr.
when you
Danie.
and when you answer this, don't step on my toes. Okay, we talking about other people.
So then let me tell you something. Dr. Danie, I step on my own toes when I do these talks, right? I'm reminding myself of all of the things and all of the places where I have ignored or I have been intentional about avoiding the things that I should be doing to liberate my own soul and to liberate myself. And so this question that you're asking is important. And I want to take it seriously because I think loneliness is a silent epidemic in ministry. The Barna Group, they did some tracking on clergy wellness and well-being, and they've been doing that work for years now. And their longitudinal data shows that over 7 years, pastors report increasing loneliness and they report decreasing support systems, right? 4 in 10 clergy say that they often feel alone in ministry, and those are just the ones who admitted in the survey. Because we still walking around here talking about we blessed and highly favored. Even
Oh.
right. And so loneliness is common in ministry. I think that for a few structural reasons. One, there's this belief or this burden of confidentiality. We carry secrets, right? We hear the confessions and the cries of family breakdowns, and we can't process those necessarily all with our spouse or our friends or our colleagues. So we carry them alone. And so Dr. Shanika Walker Barnes, who wrote Sacred Self-Care, describes clergy as holding the pain of others in ways that isolate us from our own communities. And so I want to push us and challenge us to say, we can share without breaking confidentiality. We don't have to hold certain things alone. We can open up a space for people to come and walk alongside us without breaking the confidentiality of those that we are caring for in community or in our congregation. And so I want to challenge us when we talk about this need to hold on to all of these secrets or all of these burdens and carry them along. We also have access to therapeutic spaces. We have access to spiritual care and spiritual direction spaces where these burdens can be shared. The second structural issue I want to point out is this pedestal dynamic, right? The congregation sees pastor or chaplain or reverend. They don't necessarily see the person who has the bad day. They don't see the person who also struggles with doubt. And so they never see us as someone that needs to be checked on. There's an asymmetry in pastoral relationships. We're always caring for others, and there are few structures that we will erect, or few structures that we will create, or few structures and systems that we will create for others to care for us. And so this third barrier, and I'm going to call it a barrier, is us, because we are fearful of creating the containers, because we're fearful of people seeing us as vulnerable.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
And then
Wow.
the last assumption, and this is particular to the holidays, the last assumption is um, that our Christmas is wonderful because we're leading such beautiful services. And no one considers that we too might be exhausted. We too might be disconnected from our own family celebrations because we're preparing for and we're delivering, right? We're preparing for the people who are going to come to us, the people who are going to need our care and support. We're preparing worship services. We're preparing for all of the celebrations of what we believe to be definitely a celebratory moment, right? And we're quietly dreading Christmas morning because we gave everything to everyone else's Christmas. And so, how
Wow.
do we name that without guilt?
Wow.
How do we name that without guilt? There's a book called Crisis Contemplation, Crisis Contemplation. And it offers a framework. Dr. Barbara Holmes, she offers this framework for what she calls the village response. She argues that we are not meant to carry these burdens alone, that healing happens in community. But here's the catch: we have to let ourselves be seen in community. For many of us, particularly those shaped by a culture of strength and resilience, the strong Black woman or the strong pastor narrative, vulnerability for us feels like failure.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so asking for help feels like we're admitting a weakness. And so I want to offer us a reframe of vulnerability as an act of resistance. When we name our loneliness, we resist the lie that we have to be superhuman. When we admit that we are struggling, we resist the systems that grind us down. When we prioritize our own wholeness, then we can demonstrate that our life has value beyond our productivity. So we
Huh.
say those things when we're standing in the pulpit, but then we don't do those things. So
Huh.
now I want to challenge us to do those things. And how can we do that? How can we do that? I know y'all like, see, this sound good, Ed, but at the end of the day, I ain't got time. Well, yes, you do. I need you to find one person, not a member of your congregation, one person, somebody who knew you before you was reverend, before you was evangelist, before you was apostle, before you were bishop, before you were chaplain. One person who knew you before ministry, that person who calls you by your first name, that one who says, hey, Danie,
Wait a
hey,
minute now.
who can hold space with you without trying to fix you.
That's right.
Find that one person and tell them your truth.
Mm-hmm.
Tell them I'm lonely. Tell them I need somebody to check on me. Find that one person that you can be completely and totally transparent with, and know that that's not weakness, that's wisdom. That's not
Mm-hmm.
weakness, that's wisdom.
Wow. Wow. You are in my stuff this morning. Thank you. I appreciate you. You all in my stuff this morning. Wow. Finding someone who sees us beyond our titles. That is powerful. Finding someone that sees us beyond our titles. Yes, yes, yes. That's beautiful. What's some other practical tools that you recommend that leaders can use this morning and this month in particular to decrease anxiety, decrease feeling overwhelmed, and increase connection or community as you're highlighting?
I want to start with we often don't listen to our bodies.
Mm.
I'm borrowing from Dr. Shanika Walker Barnes here again. She writes in her book, there can be no spiritual life that doesn't engage the body.
Ah.
And when things feel overwhelming, I notice that we think we can try to pray our way through it, but the body often knows things before the mind catches up.
Mm.
And so, yes, if you're eating well, that's great. If you're exercising, that's great. If you're resting, that's great. And how are you listening to your body?
Mm.
If you
Mm.
haven't moved your body today, then yeah, I do want you to take a walk, not for exercise, but for presence, so that you can feel the ground beneath your feet and just be present in the world. If you haven't eaten well, yes, I do want you to eat something nourishing, not as punishment or self control or because you want some kind of fast or because you're getting ready for, because you in Advent and you're going to do the Daniel fast, but just to be kind to yourself.
That's right. That's right.
If you are running on adrenaline, right, and you do have all of these competing priorities, I get it. But you can lay down for 20 minutes and set a timer if you need permission to get up. But let your body rest. And not as a matter of spiritual bypassing, but these are like these are practices that if we really believe that our body matters, then caring for our body has to be spiritual work for us. Because
Wow.
our bodies will tell us when something's wrong. The tension that you carry here when your neck and your back starts hurting right beneath your neck, your body's telling you something. It's not just because you picked something up wrong. Your body's telling you a message, and you need to heed that message. If you're experiencing swelling in your legs, your body is giving you a message. And what is your body telling you? So I say the first practice is to let your body lead you. Do what your body needs before you do anything else.
Mm.
The
Thank you.
second, I would say, is a sacred pause. Dr. Holmes, again, she writes about contemplation, not as an elaborate spiritual discipline, but as a pause for the cause. She says during this pause, we remember who we are and whose we are. And so, practically, what that looks like is before you walk into your next pastoral encounter, before you take your next call, before you lead your next meeting, just take one breath. And remember that you are not the Savior. That Yahweh breath, that's not you. You are not the Yahweh breath. Yahweh gave you the breath. So take one breath and recall that. Remember that. Anchor yourself in that. And know that the outcome of whatever this encounter is does not fully rest on your shoulders. One breath, one remembrance. That's all it takes, just 3 seconds. And it shifts your nervous system from I have to fix it to I am held by something larger. And so those are the two practices I would recommend for this season.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I've been taking notes. I got my notebook here with all my notes. I'm taking notes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. What does wholeness look like when life and ministry feel out of sync?
Mm. Yeah, this question goes to the heart of why I do this work. Um, Wholeness for me means integration.
Hmm.
It means refusing the false division between sacred and secular. It means refusing the false division between body and spirit, between pastor self and person self. And many African and womanist theological perspectives, and this is a tradition by which I'm shaped. There's no separation between mind, body, emotions, relationship, and spirit. You are one integrated being. And when we neglect one part of ourselves, the other parts suffer. When we dismiss our body's need, and when we dismiss our emotional needs, when we dismiss our psychological needs, when we ignore the needs that we have, our capacity to connect diminishes. And we are a connected people. We thrive, we live, we get our being by being connected. And so wholeness in this season means something like all of me is here. All of me is tended to. I'm not leaving parts of myself behind just to perform ministry for others. I'm going to bring my full self to this pulpit. And I'm not asking or implying that you bleed on the people. I am saying that you get to be honest and vulnerable with your people. Dr. Carrie Day, who made history as the first African American woman to become a full professor in Princeton Seminary, she writes about flourishing in contexts that weren't designed for our thriving. She argues that we have to actively resist systems that treat us as expendable or that reduce us to productivity. And wholeness in that light is an act of resistance. When we insist on being whole in a world that wants to fragment us, that's when we are doing prophetic work. That is when we are doing the work of wholeness. And so, what does this look like practically in December? It might look like you leaving the Christmas party early because your body is tired and you're not feeling guilty about it. It might mean telling the deacon board or the elder board that you taking December 26th off and you're not going to have your phone with you. And no, that's not negotiable. And yes, if mother so-and-so died, somebody else is going to have to go and check on the family until I get back. It might mean that you actually cry at the Christmas Eve service or at the watch service because you're moved by the beauty of what you have witnessed. Or because you are exhausted and you relieve that it's over. And both are valid. And you get to be honest about which one you're crying about. Wholeness means bringing all of yourself, the faithful self and the tired self, the hopeful self and the self who has doubts, the one who serves and guess what? The one who needs to be served. Too often, we want to ignore the one who needs to be served. Too often.
Wow. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, is this a vulnerable space?
This is a vulnerable space.
Is this a transparent space?
This is a transparent space.
Okay, all right. Uh, please don't kill me, Reverend Sue Webley. Shout out to Reverend Sue Webley, who runs our Pouring from a Full Cup series. We would be nothing without Reverend Sue, so we thank her tremendously. I will be honest, the name of this series is Pouring from a Full Cup. And in an ideal world, I would love to say that I created that and we came up with that on our own. But the truth is, I stole it. I stole it from Dr. Only because I often hear Dr. Only talking about the importance of pouring from a full cup. So I would be remiss if I didn't say that we got the name of this series from Dr. Only. That don't mean I'm going to pay you no money though. But we got the name of this series from Dr. Only. And could you talk about this dynamic of pouring from a full cup and what does that mean?
Yeah, absolutely. So in my book, The Soul's Oasis, I talk about this notion of we often hear people say you can't pour from an empty cup. And that's true. You can't pour from an empty cup. But the part that I think is missing from that is this understanding of what the cup is for. Right? Our cup, if you think about a cup on a saucer, our cup and everything that's in the cup is for us. We are the cup. And all that you have in the cup, in the full cup, is for you.
Hmm.
And if you believe, like I believe, in this God of overflow, this God of abundance, this God who does exceedingly and abundantly more than we can ever ask or think, there's overflow. Overflow from your cup that will run onto your saucer. And I suggest that the saucer, what's on the saucer, what's coming from your overflow, that's for everybody else. And I hear you out there. Oh, that's selfish. That's so selfish. If you believe you can't pour from an empty cup, and if you believe that in order for you to be nourished, you have to have something inside of you to be nourished, then why wouldn't that translate to this full cup overflow analogy? What
Hmm.
you have in your cup is for you. Your overflow is for everyone else. And I promise you, your family, your congregation, your care receivers, your job, they will be blessed by your overflow because of how brilliant and wonderful you are. They're going to be blessed by the remnants. All she had to do was touch the hem
Come on.
of his garment. The hem. Do you understand what a hem is? Trust me, your overflow is enough. I need for us to keep our cups full so that we are whole and well. Not just healed, but whole and well. And the only way to be whole and well is to make sure that you have enough nourishment in your cup so that it is feeding you while you are feeding others from your overflow.
Wow. Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That was powerful. We want to say thank you so much to Dr. Only. Now I've asked the questions that we had. We want to invite questions from our audience. If you are joining us via Facebook Live or Instagram, we are so appreciative about your presence, and we want to invite you to drop any questions in the chat right now that we could give to Dr. Only for Dr. Only to answer them. This has been phenomenal. Again, family, we want to invite you to share this video, share this webinar. We want to get the word out. There's so many wonderful golden nuggets that Dr. Only gave for us on today, and we want everybody to benefit. We don't want to hoard this wisdom for ourselves. We want to share it with others. So please do us a favor and click share at the bottom of your screen. Dr. Only has a book. Dr. Only is also an author. Would you be so kind to give us the name and title of your book and where people can purchase it from?
Absolutely. Thank you, Dr. Bahuro. Um, I have my book is called Balance and Bloom, a self-care journey. And then I also have a second book, The Soul's Oasis, Navigating the Divine Path of Self-Care for Clergy. And so for your audience, I certainly would recommend The Soul's Oasis, The Soul's Oasis, Navigating the Divine Path of Self-Care for Clergy. And that book can be purchased on Amazon. I am expecting in 2026 the release of a new book. So just stay tuned. I'm
Uh-oh.
excited about this new book that I'm currently working on.
Okay. You want to tell us a little bit about it or no?
Yeah. So that book is The Unwhitewashed Gospel. The
Oh,
Unwhitewashed Gospel. And in this book, The Unwhitewashed Gospel, we're going to be talking about what it means to decolonize your ministry to heal your people. What it means to
wow.
decolonize your ministry to heal your people. And so I'm excited about this next journey, this next book that I'm working on. And so just stay tuned. I'm expecting mid 2026 that we'll be making an announcement about that book.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. This is awesome. Hey, quick question. If you had to leave people with a word of encouragement, if you had to leave people with a word of encouragement, what would it be? Clergy in particular during this time, what would it be?
My word of encouragement would be you are worthy. You are worthy. My favorite scripture is First Peter 2:9. That scripture reads, "But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his marvelous light." That scripture reminds me regularly um, of how valued I am by God. And if we can remember in this holiday season that our value is not predicated upon our productivity, our value is not tied to what we're able to show up to or who we're able to show up for. We could just remember that we are God's chosen people, that you are a royal priesthood, you are a holy nation, you are God's special possession, that you may declare the praises of him who called you out of darkness into his wonderful light. Then I hope that that will carry you at least through year end while you are practicing liberative self care. Liberative self care.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. One more shameless plug. We want to let everybody know that Dr. Only is uh, is teaching a CPE unit. We're so excited about that. We want to invite you to mark your calendars. January 29th to May 26th. January 29th to May 26th of 2026. January 29th to May 26th of 2026. Dr. Only and myself, we're teaching a CPE unit entitled Self Care as Spiritual Practice. Self care as spiritual practice. If you are interested in being a part of this CPE unit and hearing more from Dr. Only, we want to invite you to send me an email. My first name, Danielle, dot or period Buhuro, Buhuro at acpe.edu, acpe.edu. And we will certainly sign you up for that. We also, family, want to let you know we are excited because guess what? Dr. Only is also teaching at our conference this spring. That's right, April 21st to the 24th, April 21st to the 24th. We are gearing up for our 2026 Sankofa CPE inaugural Clergy and Chaplains Mental Wellness Conference. That's right. Registration is now open. And we have to also let you know, family, we have to also let you know slots are filling up and our hotel rooms are going fast. So now is the time to definitely register and grab your hotel room at the Chicago Marriott in Oak Brook. I would love to see you. Dr. Only would love to see you. We have some amazing speakers, and we're just gonna have a great time. I'm going to say this and I'll be in trouble, no problem. There's always preaching conferences. We always have black preaching conferences. We always have black preaching conferences, but rarely do we have black clergy mental wellness conferences. And so this is a groundbreaking and that we're going to spend some time talking about how we as clergy can be well. Can we answer the proverbial question, do you want to be made well? Not others, us as clergy. Can we answer this question with a solid and sacred yes? And so we want to invite you to go to our website, blackchaplainsrock.com. blackchaplainsrock.com. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Last words from Dr. Only.
I want to also encourage that you've heard this before, but how are we practicing? No as a sacred word, especially during this season. I want you to enter into this season with this phrase ready. I don't have the capacity for that right now. Not I can't, which invites negotiation and guilt, but I don't have the capacity. That names the truth. Your capacity is not finite. If you put too many plugs into a socket, it's going to trip the circuit and it's going to blow your electricity. And that's too often what we do. We put too many plugs in our socket and it trips our circuit. Your capacity is not finite. Your energy is not finite. Your emotional reserves are not finite. And so saying no to something that depletes you is saying yes to something that sustains you. If you have a hard time saying no, I also practice this yes and. Yes, I hear you, and here's how you can get that done. It's a redirect. And so this season, please remember a sacred no. A sacred no. I don't have the capacity for that right now.
A sacred no. I don't have the capacity for that right now. I'm going to use that. A sacred no. I don't have the capacity for that right now. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, we do have a question before we log off. We do have a question. Someone asked, can I do your self-care as spiritual practice CPE unit without needing the CPE unit? Yes, of course. Of course. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Reverend Sharon. Risher. Thank you so much, Reverend Sharon, for that. Yes, most certainly you can. Feel free to send me an email, Danielle, Danielle, dot or period Buhuro, Buhuro at acpe.edu. Send me an email and let's get you signed up, Reverend Sharon. That's no problem. Thank you, thank you, thank you, family. Hey, I just want to close out by saying we want to thank you, family, for joining us for this episode of Pouring from a Full Cup. We want to especially thank Dr. Ebony Only for sharing her wisdom and heart with us on today. Please know, as you move through this holiday season, you don't have to do it all, and you don't have to do it alone. Your peace matters. Your wholeness matters, and you deserve spaces that refill you. Follow Sankofa CPE on Facebook and Instagram so you don't miss our next live conversation in this series. And don't forget to register again for our conference. Don't forget to register again for our conference. Until next time, we want to invite you. May you find balance, renewal, and the freedom to serve from a full cup.
Yes.
Blessings to you.
Blessings.